so good to be back here in South Carolina, home of the Gamecocks.
The iron Keyshawn soars in from the weak side, however, and flushes that done.
There it is.
Driven hard. The Gamecocks will take the series against their rival.
Hi again, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Gamecock Insider. I'm your host, Derek Scott. Glad to be back with you for another week of Gamecock coverage. We've got men's basketball, women's basketball, and we are creeping closer to springtime. In spite of the temperatures outside, we're going to talk a little Gamecock baseball on today's program as well. We start where we always do with our injury update brought to you by our friends at Prisma Health. Gamecock men's basketball team had a bit of a scare this past week with Miles Stute, one of the starters on that roster, going down with an injury in the game against Georgia. He was in a lot of pain, did not return to the game. Looks like he'll be out for a couple weeks at least with a shoulder strain, but also doesn't look like it will be as bad as maybe it was once feared it might be after he suffered that injury. And that update brought to you as always by our friends at Prisma Health, the official team physicians of the Gamecocks. Now, Carolina women's basketball's team has made a habit of winning. Of course, you see national championship trophies behind me that backs that claim up. But when you think about their dominance at home at Colonial Life Arena, well, it has really been something special the last couple years. It's a team that over the course of multiple seasons has refused to lose in their home building.
Not a totally bad loss for us. I think it will open our eyes to see where we need to be and how we need to play every time we step on the floor. I promise you that we're going to fix it before we take the floor again.
That is the relentlessness of South Carolina.
Yeah, South Carolina just did what they do.
You see why they're the #1 team in the nation. Don Staley has done it. The whole town is excited about South Carolina women's basketball.
Don Staley has done an amazing job building this championship program.
Nobody can take down South Carolina.
Half 150 straight wins and no end in sight for Don Staley's crew, at least not if we are fortunate as we continue through this 2023-24 season. We've got more Gamecock basketball coverage coming your way in just a moment when Gamecock Insider rolls on from Learfield.
Gamecock Insider is brought to you by Prisma Health, the official healthcare provider of the Gamecocks, and by Liberty Tap Room. Liberty Tap Room is the home for the Columbia Craft Call-In Show with Gamecock men's and women's basketball. Meet us at Liberty at 6 p.m. on Thursdays during the season for Carolina calls. Liberty Tap Room and Grill, Cocky's favorite place to eat in the Vista.
Hey Gamecock fans, I'm Coach Lamont Paris. The best teams are the ones that are always willing to do more. More in the weight room, more in the classroom, more for each other. And it's important for our team doctors to have the same mindset. With access to more locations, more specially trained experts, and more personalized care, Prisma Health is doing even more to care for our team and our fans. Prisma Health, official healthcare system and team physicians for the Gamecocks.
And it's another big night for the Gamecocks here in Colonial Life Arena.
Throughout my life, my friends and my family have supported me through the championships and the challenges. That's why it's so important for me to lift people up, to help them overcome the obstacles in their way. Colonial Life benefits keep you prepared for life's unexpected moments, empowering people to achieve goals they thought weren't possible. That's what really matters. Colonial Life, keep unexpecting.
Good morning, America. Today, thousands of our teammates will make and deliver over 300 of the world's best brands and flavors, locally, in towns large and small. From the heartland to the coast, our products are moving and our trucks are rolling. We share a passion and a purpose. We love to refresh and serve our communities. We are Coca-Cola Consolidated, your local bottler.
Farm Bureau Insurance wants to give you a VIP experience this baseball season. Visit usccontest.com and register for your chance to be Cocky's game day guest. Winners will get a special invitation to a game, an autographed baseball and ball cap, 2 premium tickets, a trip to the radio booth, and more. Visit usccontest.com to register today. Cocky's Game Day Guest is brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance, here for all your auto, home, and life insurance needs.
We're back on Gamecock Insider. You know, the Carolina men's basketball team was able to pick up a road win in Columbia, Missouri last week in frigid conditions outside, but Carolina didn't know anything about that on the inside. They were celebrating and heating up that locker room after a thrilling come-from-behind win. It was a fun day on the road for the Gamecocks, and we were there to track every bit of it.
So show you how we respond.
Well, defensively, it's been really a tough basketball game, and both teams have taken the other team out of what they like to do.
East, one-on-one with Talon Cooper. That was defended well by South Carolina. Gamecocks down 3, 75 seconds to play. Shot for Wright. And a foul on Missouri on the rebound. So Josh Gray at the free throw line. Gray gets the first one to go. Both free throws, dead center. Well, got to roll. And a whistle. Back to a three-point game. On the way. Good! Talon Cooper buries the triple, and we're tied at 62.
Wow, the guy that's throwing the ball. They start attacking. Yeah, reach for it. Maybe you poke it. Yeah, but might get definitely it. I might get it. We understand? We understand. Hey, what's up?
It's at 7, and he's bumped at half court. What a smart foul. John East gets to the baseline, lost the handle, fade away at the buzzer, no! And we're headed to overtime.
It's our game. It's our game.
Here's a Talon Cooper pocket and a foul. Carolina finally gets an and one. Right to the baseline. Shot fake. Shot up. Good. Big time shot. Ice water in the veins for Jacoby Wright. Carter, ball in his hands. Contested 3 for the win. No. Got it back. Bates before the buzzer is short. South Carolina escapes with an overtime road win in Columbia, Missouri. They're now 2-1 in the league in Missouri.
Game number 16.
Yes, Lord. Yes.
An overtime victory for Carolina. That was nice to see. Last year, this team lost all 3 of its overtime affairs in SEC action. The man who provided the winning shot for South Carolina, the big points at the end, well, he's also our Terminix Pest Player of the Week. We're talking, of course, about Jacoby Wright, who came off the bench for South Carolina to come through with some big offensive contributions, none bigger than the last basket of the contest, a shot that he had to put over a 7'5" defender. So congratulations to Kobe. He is our Terminix Pest Player of the Week. We're back with more of the Gamecock Insider in just a moment from Learfield.
Okay, so you need to pick up the dog from the groomer, get the laundry, and you finish the book for book club, right?
Book club? Of course I did. Yep. See you there, honey.
It was the best of times.
It was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. But the good physician of the Republic would deserve better still. Save him now, my doctor. Save him. His father
When you have 537 pages to go, there's a wrap for that.
Right now, get 3.99% APR for 36 months on a new 2024 Toyota RAV4.
Toyota, let's go places.
What does farm to table mean to you? Fresher, tastier food? Sitting down with family and friends at local restaurants? Sure, but thanks to South Carolina farmers and chefs, you can enjoy farm to table anywhere. That's because when you buy certified SC, you're supporting South Carolina farmers and getting locally grown food that's perfect for whatever table. So choose local, choose fresh. It's a matter of taste.
I was perfectly happy where I was. I just coached one of the biggest games of my life. Then, just 3 days later, I was moving to South Carolina. That was unexpected. But that's how life works. Colonial Life's benefits keep you prepared for life's unexpected moments, empowering people to achieve their goals and keep moving forward. Colonial Life, keep unexpecting.
Farm Bureau Insurance wants to give you a VIP experience this baseball season. Visit usccontest.com and register for your chance to be Cocky's Game Day guest. Winners will get a special invitation to a game, an autographed baseball and ball cap, 2 premium tickets, a trip to the radio booth, and more. Visit usccontest.com to register today. Cocky's Game Day guest is brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance, here for all your auto, home, and life insurance needs.
Good hard work has earned Keune Fletcher the title of Colonial Life Academic Athlete of the Week. A member of the volleyball team, Keune is a civil engineering major with a 3.87 grade point average. This week's academic athlete is brought to you by Colonial Life. Colonial Life, the benefits of good hard work.
For Kentucky here, going up against Ashlyn Watkins. Watkins just stole it away. Throwing it down! Ashlyn Watkins, get it on a Monday!
That's your Sandsbury. Did you see that play? A real eye popper from Ashlyn Watkins as she provided the first ever dunk by a girls basketball player in Colonial Life Arena. Special moment for her, and you could tell from the roar of the crowd, everyone sensed how special that moment was indeed. So congratulations to Ashlyn. As we carry forward, we want to take another look at the ongoing docuseries that's airing right now on Gamecocks Plus. It is called Raising Expectations. It's about the Gamecock men's basketball program, and it of course includes the thoughts of a number of players who are making things different for this team in this current season.
On the baseline, shoots it up over Vanover. Got it!
I take a lot of pride in being from South Carolina. It's part of why I chose the school. I just want them to know, man, I got love for this school. I think the school loves me as well. And just a guy that gave it his all while he was here and just made continuous improvement. And just a winner, man. A guy that really wanted to win and left it all on the court every time.
Everyone says they care about the team and they care about winning, but you know, I think this group especially is all about winning.
When I'm in the huddle with my teammates, when we're on the road, when we're going up against somebody, I just always tell them, be us. Be who we are. Don't try to be nobody else. Like, you can look at it and be like, well, doing something right now, you know what I'm saying? We just want to stay on that path, you know, stay on that path to greatness and stay on that path to march.
Hey, Gamecock fans. I'm Coach Dawn Staley. The best teams are the ones that are always willing to do more. More in the weight room, more in the classroom, more for each other. And it's important for our team doctors to have the same mindset with access to more locations, more specially trained experts, and more personalized care. Prisma Health is doing even more to care for our team and our fans. Prisma Health, official healthcare system and team physicians for the Gamecocks.
What is a team? A team is a group of individuals working together to accomplish a shared goal. A team is a collaborative partnership. Teams trust each other, strive for greatness together. A team creates something unique, builds something better together. This team is diverse, different positions that make us whole. Officer, nurse, electrician, counselor. This team is making a difference. Together, this team is making corrections.
Hey Gamecock fans, I'm here to ask you for your support of the Garnet Trust, the official NIL partner of Gamecock Athletics. NIL opportunities are an important part of the student-athlete experience at the University of South Carolina and across the country. Join us as we continue to compete at the highest level of college basketball. Visit garnettrust.com today to join the growing community of members ensuring our athletes are set for their future.
Good morning, America. Today, thousands of our teammates will make and deliver over 300 of the world's best brands and flavors, locally, in towns large and small. From the heartland to the coast, our products are moving and our trucks are rolling. We share a passion and a purpose, we love to refresh and serve our communities. We are Coca-Cola Consolidated, your local bottler.
Welcome back to Gamecock Insider, everybody. You know, since this show started back up a few weeks ago, we've been focused on basketball, men's and women's. And at this time of year, that only makes sense, right? But we're creeping ever closer to the spring season, and that means Gamecock baseball can't be far away. It may be chilly outside, but Mark Kingston is chomping at the bit to get his team back on the diamond at Founders Park. And we had a chance to sit down and chat with him about that recently.
Our pitching right now is very similar to what our hitters were last year at this time. A little unproven. People had some question marks or who's going to step up, who's going to be the go-to guys. But we feel pretty confident internally that we're going to have guys that can do the job. Last year at this time, people were wondering about our offense, but we kind of knew what Gavin Costas was going to be. We knew that Cole Messina had made some big improvements, and there are pitchers on our staff now that we feel the exact same. So last year our offense proved to be much better than anybody anticipated, and our hope and our goal right now is that our pitching, while it is being questioned a little bit right now, we think internally we have enough guys to really get the job done.
We are here at Founders Park and happy to be joined by Gamecock head baseball coach Mark Kingston about a month or so ahead of the season alongside Bill Gunner, Jay Phillips. And Coach, appreciate you being with us. This time of year brings renewed excitement for all baseball fans, yeah?
It sure does. The weather is going to start getting warmer. That means spring is coming. That means baseball is coming. So around here, obviously, the basketball teams are doing great. Football is into recruiting and doing all that. But right now, as the weather is getting warmer, that means baseball is coming. So we're all excited.
What's it like for you and the coaching staff in these weeks, I suppose, really, between the end of fall ball and now? I mean, is it film? Is it talking? Is it taking some time? I mean, I imagine there's a mix, but in terms of building the team, what is it that you guys look at most from what you learned in the fall to what you want to apply in these weeks heading into the first game of the season?
Well, I would say adjustments is the biggest word. You use all fall to evaluate where you are individually, as a team, what your needs are, what the strengths and weaknesses are of each player. And then once you conclude the fall, we have exit meetings with each player and talk about what they need to work on over the next 6 to 8 weeks before the season starts. And you attack that. You attack it in the weight room, you attack it in the cages, in the bullpens, on video. It's all of the above. And so the key is to make sure that you have a better player in the spring than you had in the fall. And if you do that enough, then you'll have a better team in the spring than you had in the fall. Ethan Petrie is a great example of that. Last year had a solid fall, but not an All-American type fall like he ended up having in the spring. So that's the key, is you want guys to improve over the winter.
I was going to ask, how often is it that you see a drastic jump from the fall to your first day of practice? And I don't know, in your past, not naming anybody that you're coaching right now, but in your past, if you've had a player like an Ethan Petrie that you saw in the fall and then they come back and you're like, oh, totally different guy, and they go on to have a big season, kind of like what you just used.
Yeah, it happens. I wouldn't say it's normal, but I would say you get 1 or 2 of those a year. The biggest example outside of Ethan that I can remember in my past is a kid named Brian Bogusevic. He was a kid we had recruited at Tulane out of Chicago, got 1 hit all fall, and then became a starter and a freshman All-American for us and ended up playing in the big leagues. And so at this age, guys improve. Guys can learn one thing that totally turns their game around, or they can work really hard in the weight room and you add 7 to 10 pounds and now you become a different player. Or you learn as a pitcher, you learn one more pitch that might be an out pitch for you and it changes your whole success. So you're always looking for that thing that can help your player.
When you go into the evaluation period after the fall ball, and I know from year to year it'll change, but how much, I don't know, not finality perhaps, but how good do you feel about who's going to play where and how many positions are still truly up for grabs?
On this year's team, I would say we have a lot more in our offense that we have a good idea about who's going to be where than we did last year at this time. Last year at this time, there were a lot of question marks. And was Cole Messina going to be our catcher? Was Ethan Petrie even going to be in the lineup? Was Braylon Wimmer going to be able to stick at shortstop? We had a lot of question marks offensively last year. As I look at this year's team, I think we have a lot more I don't want to say figured out, but we have a good idea where the pieces are probably going to fit. That being said, you always keep an open mind.
Mm-hmm.
You always keep an open mind that an Ethan Petrie may emerge. You always keep an open mind on who really worked hard over the winter and is a much better player than what you saw in the fall. So we go into it with kind of a depth chart of where you think it should be on day one of spring practice, but we always keep an open mind on the development and the momentum and the trends of our team.
Where are you at now when you say spring practice? I can always relate it to football because the first week you go through the shells and then there's a little bit of implementation of offense or defense and then you start game prep. What's it like for a baseball spring practice where you're trying to maybe implement one or two more things as a team as opposed to individual?
Right. Well, right now we get 3 weeks before we get the 3 weeks of preseason team practice. So we're in what they call the individuals phase, and it's small groups. So what we are doing is when they first get back, the pitchers start to throw bullpens, the hitters start to hit in the cages and hit on the field. Now, as we move into week 2, it's the hitters will face the pitchers one-on-one without a defense on the field, but just hitter-pitcher live at bats is what we call them. And then as we get into next week, we'll start our full team phase, which is 3 weeks before opening day. That's what the NCAA allows. You get 3 full weeks from opening day to start your team phases. So on the first Friday, which is 3 weeks from opening day, we will have a full inter squad. So right now we are in that live at bats phase. In about another 10 days, we'll be at a full inter squad phase.
The transfer portal across college athletics is one of the stories of the year, coupled with NIL, and they do sometimes intersect. Transferring is not new to any of these sports, but certainly the activity increases. We see a lot of it in football especially, but two-parter for you. How is it affecting baseball as a sport? And then tell us about some of the guys you brought in and what you like about where you are through that activity.
Right. Well, it is. It's affecting baseball just like it is basketball, just like it is football. You have to make sure that you have your finger on the pulse of that because you want to make sure historically it's, okay, which junior college players are coming in, who are your high school recruits coming in. But now you have to account for the transfer portal, not only in who's going to be on the field, but how does that affect your scholarship allotments, who's coming, who's going. We also have the draft that affects us every year, both with our current team, but also the recruits. So it's a Rubik's Cube. I say it all the time. Putting together a roster is a Rubik's Cube for college baseball coaches. So the transfer portal has been very good to us over the last couple of years. Obviously, you look at last year's team and Casas and McGillis, and there were some really impactful guys we brought in last year. I think that will be the same thing this year. I think you'll see maybe up to 3 starters on the offensive side that we got from the transfer portal, and I think we're going to see some pitchers that really have a good impact for us as well. Most likely, really strong guys out of the bullpen, but also a couple guys that you may see start as well. So the portal has been very good to us.
Early season rankings, you're 13th in perfect game. How do you handle balancing expectation with your players along with it's a brand new season? Whatever happened last year is now done. You're on your own. You're focused entirely on our 2024 team.
Yeah, well, as we all know, rankings can sometimes be very accurate and sometimes be wildly inaccurate. Last year, I think there was only one service that ranked us, and the rest had us outside the top 25. And we earned our way up to the number 2 ranking by April. So I think you take it with a grain of salt, but you also, like everything else, coaches like to use certain things as motivation. And sometimes you use a 13 ranking as a, hey, look, people think we're pretty good. Where we are right now, coming off a super regional, my message to the team is they think there's 12 teams better than us right now. So let's have a chip on our shoulder. Let's try to make sure that we are one of the top 8 when all is said and done, and hopefully moving up towards that top spot.
We understand each and every week Dakota puts up a ranking of our performance. He's 1 and I'm 2, or I'm 1 and he's 2. It's a very difficult business.
Right. I would say you're both tied for 2 if I had to guess.
Thank you, Coach. That's what
it's totally understandable.
Strive to be near the
tied
top.
for last. I like that.
Yeah, strive to be near
it's
the
kind
top
of show we
or
like.
bottom on a regular basis.
When the South Carolina women's basketball team makes 3 3-pointers in a game, you'll score a free 3-piece hand-breaded chicken tender the next day at Hardee's. Simply download the Gamecocks app, show the Hardee's cashier the app offer, and enjoy hand-breaded tender deliciousness. Don't miss out on this exclusive offer brought to you by your friends at Hardee's. Participating Columbia and Spartanburg area restaurants only. Hardee's, goodness in the making.
Let me educate you real quick. The lottery is not about getting rich. No, the lottery is about helping people, and it always has been. It was the lottery that helped raise the Great Wall of China. Lotteries maintain the roads of ancient Rome and helped to usher in Western civilization as we know it. The lottery forged a foundation in this country and then helped fund a revolution against tyranny that built on that foundation. And today, in South Carolina, the revolution continues. But we're not building walls or roads or bridges. We're investing in you. Every year, the South Carolina Education Lottery raises millions of dollars to help build an educated, well-equipped, and prepared people. And if you want to get in on the action, there's no better partner. After all, education is our middle name.
For over 40 years, Sound & Images has been South Carolina's corporate multimedia partner for live events. Sound & Images is also your resource for commercial audiovisual installations. Help your teams collaborate more efficiently with a custom-crafted AV solution from Sound & Images. Whether you want a single monitor upgrade or a turnkey AV system, we are dedicated to helping you incorporate easy-to-use technology into your space. And we offer the best-in-class support and service. Elevate your AV. Call Sound & Images today.
What does farm to table mean to you? Fresher, tastier food? Sitting down with family and friends at local restaurants? Sure, but thanks to South Carolina farmers and chefs, you can enjoy farm to table anywhere. That's because when you buy certified SC, you're supporting South Carolina farmers and getting locally grown food that's perfect for whatever table. So choose local, choose fresh. It's a matter of taste.
Gamecock Insider is brought to you by Prisma Health, the official healthcare provider of the Gamecocks, and by Liberty Tap Room. Liberty Tap Room is the home for the Columbia Craft Call-In Show with Gamecock men's and women's basketball. Meet us at Liberty at 6 p.m. on Thursdays during the season for Carolina Calls. Liberty Tap Room and Grill, Cocky's favorite place to eat in the Vista.
Time to wrap things up on this week's edition of the Gamecock Insider. That means it's time to go on the road with our friends from Toyota. Carolina women's basketball team, back-to-back road trips, and the second of which will be taking them to Baton Rouge. Talk about a special atmosphere. Maybe the two biggest powerhouses, certainly in the SEC, maybe in college basketball, defending national champion Tigers, Gamecock's current #1 team in the country. ESPN will televise it. They'll even have the College Game Day crew there to broadcast on a weeknight. It's going to be a special day indeed. And that is our On the Road segment, and that is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. Well, that's going to do it for us here on Gamecock Insider. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Derek Scott. We'll talk to you again next week.
This has been an exclusive presentation from Learfield.